Blog Talk Radio.
Out at foggy midfield, muddy.
Welcome to NBS Central Startem Sitem Show, hosted by True X, the sports junkie, and J Franchise, where we'll give our weekly fantasy sports predictions and analysis. Now, let's start the show.
Yeah, baby. What's good? What's good? What's good, baby? Welcome to the Startem Sitem Show on NBS Central Radio. Of course, I'm your host, True X, the sports junkie, a.k.a. the fantasy legend. And, yeah, I had a rough week last week when it came to fantasy, but I'm ready for the shake bag. Woohoo! Of course, I got the homie in the building, the guy, Mr. I will steal your players if I let you know anything about it in fantasy football. My boy, yo, what up, homie?
What's good, man? Week 2, baby. And I'm ready for this week in fantasy football, man. We got some interesting matchups. So I'm looking forward to all these Sunday games.
Okay, no doubt. Do we have anybody else in the line? Yeah, are we good?
It's just for us two for now.
Okay, so before we even get started, I just want y'all to know, if this is your first time tuning to the Startem Sitem Show, we help you out with your fantasy lineup. We will help you. You let us know what you need to do, you know, who you want to start on, who you're thinking about starting, and we'll tell you who it should be. And hopefully we give you some good advice. We think that we're pretty good at this, so make sure you understand that. Okay, so real quick, before we get started with the show, Keo, if you have a Bucs player or a Panthers player, that already happened. That game has already happened, where you saw Peyton Barber outscore Christian McCaffrey. We saw the Bucs beat the Panthers, and it was somewhat of a shock. All the list that we're going to give right now is excluding all those players. We're not going to talk about those players because those players already played. So hopefully you started the right people in those games. Hopefully you wasn't like me and started O.J. Howard, and he gave you 0. I mean, I could have started literally anybody else, and I probably would have got more points than that. But that's neither here nor there. Okay, so we're going to start with the best 5 quarterbacks that we think will end today. One thing about this show, we do not name elite guys. We're not going to name Patrick Mahomes. You should know to start Patrick Mahomes. I think he's the only quarterback that I would call elite. Maybe him and Deshaun Watson. I think it's must start. But even Watson, if you have the right matchup, and you have like somebody like Tom Brady, you might want to go with Brady. But for me, I just have Patrick Mahomes to be elite. But if Keo might have somebody else. So Keo, let's get to the top 5.
All right, top 5. Number 5, I'm gonna start with Derek Carr at number 5 against Kansas City. He looked really good last week against Denver. Nobody expected that. He found him some new weapons with Tyrell Williams and Tide and Waller. I think this Kansas City game, if this game does get out of hand, I think he could get some garbage points for fantasy owners out there. So I got him at number 5. Number 4, I'm rolling with Phillip Rivers, man. Phillip Rivers against Detroit. I think he's going to put up some good amount of points for his team. So I think I think people would say he's a safe pick in your top 5. So I definitely got him at my number 4. Number 3, and I'm talking about fantasy-wise right now. When it comes to fantasy, this guy ain't elite, but deep down we know he's elite. And I'm talking about Tom Brady at number 3. Tom Brady, he gets to face the Dolphins, man. Come on, you serious? And based off of what he was able to do last week, airing that ball out against Pittsburgh, man, and then you get the addition of Antonio Brown. I got Tom Brady at number 3. Number two, I'm rolling with Lamar Jackson at number 2. I think Lamar Jackson, he proved to a lot of people last week that he could throw the ball. He got a lot of weapons around him, and teams are going to have a hard time defending him and Mark Ingram if Jackson's going to take off with the ball or he's just going to give it to Mark Ingram. So I think it's going to be interesting. And this is going to be an interesting matchup because he goes against the rookie that came out this year. It's Kyler Murray. So I think we should have a young quarterback showdown. So, and Kyler Murray, I think I'll bring him up later as far as quarterback's concerned. But now I'm going with my number 1 guy. My number 1 guy, I'm going with Dak Prescott, number 1. It was impressive what he was able to do. He didn't just run the ball. He threw the ball, man. He gave, I think in some standard leagues, he gave fantasy owners 41 fantasy points, 25 with 32 for 405 yards and 4 touchdowns. I think he's going to be successful once again against Washington defense that struggles. And Dak, he averages 23 a game when he goes against Washington. So I like Dak Prescott for week 2 against Washington. This is a slam dunk favorable matchup for me. And that's my top 5 for quarterbacks for this week.
All right. You know what? I never give Q a hard time, but I actually really like his list a lot. Despite me not having 2 of the 5 guys in there, I think he did a really good job of it. I can't lie. Okay, so I was writing down something, and I changed what I said. I think there's 3 elite quarterbacks. When I say elite, I just don't see scenarios where I would take these 3 guys out. It's Mahomes, Rodgers, and Watson. For me, those are must starts every week. Even though they have a bad matchup, you kind of want to play those guys because I saw a stat somewhere where Watson, I think, has like 8 or 9 losses in his NFL career, but they're literally all by 1 possession. That's crazy. So that means no matter who he's playing against, he's going to have the Texans in the game and a chance to win. So those 3 guys, you want to start them no matter what. If you have to choose out of those 3 guys, let's say you have 2 of them on your team where you have Mahomes and Watson or Mahomes and Rodgers. Of course you go on Mahomes. Mahomes is the guy. But if you have Rodgers and Watson, then I'd go off of like who I'm playing against or who they're playing against. I will say this before I even get started on my 5. Carr is my sleeper as far as out of the quarterback position. I'm with you, Q. I think he can get some sneaky fantasy points this week because that game could be a little shootout in some form. But coming in number 5 for me is the guy that has redemption on his mind. I think he's going to hopefully be better. He proved me wrong last week. He got it done late in the game. I'm talking about Drew Brees. This guy used to be elite to me in fantasy. He's not elite no more, but going against the Rams in L.A., I think this could be a shootout type game. I think this is the type of game where you might get like a 35-31 type game. I know in the NFC Championship game last year it wasn't high scoring, but if you remember last year during the regular season, Drew Brees lit them up, and Jared Goff had a big game as well. So I got Drew Brees coming in number 5, which leads me to number 4, Jared Goff. I think Jared Goff's going to have a little bit more fantasy numbers than Brees, only because I think Alvin Kamara is going to have more of a successful day on the ground than I think Todd Gurley will. Todd Gurley, they said already they're taking away goal line carries from him. That's tough if you're fantasy owners, but I got Goff coming in. I think Goff's going to throw for over 300 yards, and he's going to have a few touchdowns. So I'm going with Goff at number 4. Coming in number 3 is Keel's number 1. I got Dak Prescott coming in number 3. I agree with them on this. Man, Dak against the Redskins. The Redskins were up big against the Eagles last week. and Wentz just went off in the second half and came back and won that game. Dak had a monster game. I look for him to continue the trend against the Redskins this week, and he's going to have another monster game. Coming in number 2, I saw me and Q was actually talking about this before the show. Matthew Stafford went over his projections last week against the Arizona Cardinals. Well, guess who's playing the Arizona Cardinals today? And it's in Baltimore. Lamar Jackson, the guy that leads everybody in fantasy numbers right now. Dude went absolutely beast mode, monster mode, whatever you want to call it last week. I think he has another big game today in Baltimore. And he's going to finish the day as the second best quarterback. There's only one quarterback that's going to finish ahead of him, and that is the guy that is playing against the team that Lamar Jackson played against last week. And this guy used to be elite as well. I'm talking about Tom Brady. Tom Brady, I would actually consider starting Tom Brady over one of the elite guys. If I have Rodgers versus the Vikings or Watson versus Jacksonville, I think I'm going Brady over those guys. That's how much I like Brady in this matchup. So I got Brady as the number 1 quarterback today. There's no scenario outside of Patrick Mahomes that I'm starting a quarterback over Tom Brady. So that's my number 1 guy, Kia. Let's get to running backs, my brother.
All right, running backs. Let's start off with the running backs. I'm gonna start off with my number 5 right now. Number 5, I'm gonna roll with it's a lot. It's really up in the air right now as far as Joe Mixon's if he's gonna play or not, and he's gonna give it a try during the pregame warm-ups. But I think with or without Joe Mixon, because with that being said, it shows that he may not be 100%. I'm going with Giovanni Bernard at number 5, man. Bernard, he's been there for quite some time, and he's been really good filling the void. So I think he's a decent number 5 at best. Number 4, man. True was high on this guy. All of a sudden, he jumped off his bandwagon off of one game. I'm talking about Sony Michel. I think Sony Michel is due to have a huge game today against the Miami Dolphins. And he was awful, man. He only had 14 yards. He was outplayed by Rex Burkhead, who had 8 carries for 44 yards, 5 catches for 41 yards. And I just don't see it happening again. I don't see him having a dud like that again. And what's better than this, man? Sony Michel, he's actually he actually went to a high school in South Florida. So I think it was American Heritage, and I think they're definitely gonna give him some good workload, and I think Sony Michel's gonna rebound in a huge way against the Dolphins. The Dolphins allowed 265 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns against the Baltimore Ravens last week. But I think James White is also worth starting, also in PPR type of leagues. But Burkhead is a sleeper though. But with that being said, Sony Michel, man, you got to start him, man. And I got him at number 4 against Miami. Number 3, I'm rolling with Duke Johnson. I think Duke Johnson had a solid debut against New Orleans. He had 9 carries, 57 yards, also 4 catches for 33 yards and 5 targets. And I think he's a solid number 2 running back in PPR format. At best, you could even move him to a flex against Jacksonville, man. So I got Duke Johnson at number 3 right now. Number 2, I don't like this pick because I just feel like this guy's going to be too inconsistent, and he got off to a great start last week, but I just like the matchup for this guy, and I'm over with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, he had a decent game last week for 19 carries, 84 yards, and a touchdown. And he also had a 75-yard touchdown reception on the screen. So I think Derrick Henry should have a decent game against the Colts. I think they're going to pound the ball, rely on him a lot. And and coming in at number 1, this is a surprise. It's going to be a surprise for most people because I'm not even high on this guy. I don't even have him in my fantasy team. I didn't even consider of drafting him when I looked at my draft board in certain leagues I was in. And that's Kerryon Johnson. I got him at number 1 this week.
Wow.
He didn't have a great game in against Arizona. He only had 16 carries for 49 yards. 2 catches for 13 yards on 2 targets. But I think he's got a lot of improvement. He might be splitting work with C.J. Anderson because C.J. Anderson, he had 11 carries for 35 yards and he still played 50% of the snaps. I expect that to continue, but the Charger run defense, they got torched by the Colts at home, man. Marlon Mack, he went off on them for 174 yards and a touchdown off 25 carries. Even though Johnson was a disappointment in week 1, I definitely like this matchup for Kerryon Johnson this week. And, they got, Matthew Stafford starting to open up the passing game more. I think once they establish this, it's going to make Detroit dangerous. So I like Kerryon Johnson for today, man, at my number 1. And that rounds up my top 5 for the running backs for today.
All right. Well, okay. So for me, I have 3 quarterbacks that's elite. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 running backs. I think every week I'm starting these guys no matter what. It doesn't even matter if I have, who they're playing against. And that's Saquon Barkley, Alvin Kamara, Ezekiel Elliott, Christian McCaffrey, Le'Veon Bell, David Johnson, or Todd Gurley. I get Todd Gurley. I get the goal line thing, but there's no way I'm benching Todd Gurley. There's no way on earth I'm benching Todd Gurley. I thought about some other names like Nick Chubb. He's not there yet for me. Two
of those elite running backs are playing against each other today.
Yeah. So that not Kamara. McCaffrey already played. So these are the guys that I consider elite. No matter what, I'm starting these guys. That's the guys that I would roll with. Those 7, no matter what. Now, the guy that I'm coming with at number 5, I'm coming with Damian Williams. I know you got your boy Shady McCoy there in Kansas City, but Oakland to me is there trying to stop Patrick Mahomes. If they try to stop Patrick Mahomes, I look at Damian Williams have a really good game today. I think he's going to finish in the top 5. Now, it could end up being Shady, but I'm saying Damian Williams today. Shady did have a good first game, so did Damian Williams. But I'm going to go with Williams as my number 5 guy. So then number 4 for me today is Keel's boy, Josh Jacobs. In the same game, Josh Jacobs, after watching the opening night, I was highly impressed the way he used him. Highly impressed. I got to say shout out to Don Gruden. I could be wrong about who's the rookie of the year this year. Josh Jacobs looked really good in the opening game. I think he had 20-something fantasy points. I think it was 23. I don't know for sure. Somewhere around there. But I think he's having another good game again. He gives the Chiefs some little dump downs from Derek Carr, maybe even a touchdown or 2. So I got Josh Jacobs coming at number 4. Coming at number 3 today, Mark Ingram. Real simple. Mark Ingram going against the Cardinals. I think Ingram, I wanted him in one of some of my fantasy leagues. I know that in no fantasy league. I'm beating myself over the head for that. But I think he's had another good game today. Over 100 yards and touchdowns easily. And Mark Ingram comes in number 3. My number 2 guy is A Patriot. Wow. But not Tony Michelle. Keon, who you are. It's James White. James White is going to get some balls up the backfield like he always does. And I think he's had a monster game. This game is going to get out of hand early. I look for the Patriots to blow out the Dolphins. They got players saying they don't want to be there. This is not a good look at all for the Miami Dolphins. But coming in number one is somewhat of a bit of a surprise, even in some way. Dude went crazy last week, and he goes against the Detroit Lions today. He likes Kerryon Johnson. I like Austin Eckler. Are you kidding me? Dude had like 30-some fantasy points last week. He got Detroit in Detroit. Man, I think he's going to go crazy in this game. They're going to try to stop Keenan Allen. They're going to try to stop Mike Williams, who is banged up, by the way, so you might want to think about not starting. They said they're only going to put him in the red zone. So he could have a touchdown, but that's too dicey for me. I know about the wide receivers, but Austin Eckler is the number one running back for me today on the outside of the league. And then my sleeper, I'm going to stick with it. I think they're going to figure it out this week that you have to run the ball. They can't just try to throw the ball around Trubisky. I'm going with my boy, DM, baby, David Montgomery. It's time for DM to get the ball, get some touches, and we're going to see what happens when he gets the Broncos. And last week you got Josh Jacobs. Now to get the next rookie up, and that's David Montgomery. So let's see what happens. So that's my top five. Keon, who's your top five wide receivers?
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, my top five wide receivers for today. I'm gonna start off with my number five. My number five for today. I'm going with Cooper Kupp at number five. He had a lot of chances to make plays in week one at Carolina. He had 10 targets, 7 catches, which was second best behind Robert Woods, who had 13 targets on 8 catches. But Kupp just managed 46 yards. I think he's going to improve that against this game against the Saints. I think this is going to be a straight-up classic shootout like last season. And he's coming back from an injury, so he's just shaking the rest off right now. The Saints allowed Houston receivers to catch 14 passes for 260 yards, 16 yards, and 3 touchdowns in week one. That actually is good for guys like Brandon Cooks, Kupp, and Robert Woods. With the Rams being at home in this huge matchup, I expect this to be a shootout, and I expect Cooper Kupp to be huge. So I got him at number 5. Number four. Oh man, I'm going with Allen Robinson at number 4, man. I had a high feeling for Allen Robinson, but after watching the first game, with the Bears, and they were dreadful. But Allen Robinson managed to go over 100 yards and 7 receptions off of 12 targets. Just as bad as they played. And I just saw that Mitchell Trubisky looked for him a lot and relied on him a lot. So I like Allen Robinson at number 4 against Denver. So Allen Robinson, number 4. Number 3, I'm going with Tyrell Williams at number 3. Just so everybody knows, this was way before Antonio Brown. This was when they first signed Tyrell Williams. I knew that he was going to make an impact. Like I said, just based off of everything after those small seasons he had with the Chargers, and he showed that in week 1. And this is one of his top targets, man. Tyrell Williams. He ain't that speed type of guy. He's a great route runner, and he's gonna get you so it gets you the ball when it counts the most. So I got Tyrell Williams at a high number 3. Um, number 2, I'm gonna roll with Tyler Boyd, man. I think Tyler Boyd, um, I think Boyd was overshadowed by John Ross in Week 1, um, who had 7 receptions for 158 yards, 2 touchdowns, 12 targets at Seattle. But Boyd played well also. He had 8 catches for 60 yards and 11 targets. And I think he's going to have another solid game, man. And the Niners, I just think they have a good front 7, but their secondary reigns a lot of suspects right now. So I got Tyler Boyd to have a huge game, and I got him at my number 2. And coming in for my number 1 receiver for this upcoming week, coming at number 1 for my wide receivers for this upcoming week, I'm gonna go with the Minnesota Vikings, Stephon Diggs at number 1. I think Diggs he had a quiet game. I'll put that out there because they basically dominated Atlanta from the jump, and they didn't really needed to pass the ball because Dalvin Cook was just the Falcons didn't have an answer for him. But I think, and I expect I expect Minnesota to throw the ball, and and I expect Stephon Diggs to have a huge game. They go in against the Packers, and I think this game is going to be completely different. This game could be a shootout, and it could be the game of the week. But I got Stephon Diggs as my top receiver for to end my top 5 for wide receivers.
All right. Not bad top 5. I'll just say this. I had Tyler Boyd as my sleeper at wide receiver. I was surprised you had him in your top 5, but I could definitely see it. Tyler Boyd could have a monster game today, and he's my sleeper at wide receiver. Coming in number 5 for me is a guy that I think is going to have a big game because I think everybody's going to be focused on the guy that's been in headlines. That's Antonio Brown, but I'm thinking that's going to be Julian Edelman that's going to come in number 5. You got to remember, Tom Brady is comfortable with Julian Edelman. That's his guy. Edelman's going to have a good game. There's no doubt about it. This guy's going to catch a lot of underneath routes. Him and James White, I have them both in my top 5 as their respective positions. So I got Julian Edelman coming in number 5. Coming in number 4, I got Robert Woods. You have Cooper Kupp. I got Robert Woods. I think Robert Woods is more of a matchup nightmare for the Saints. Robert Woods, they do throw deep balls to him. Cooper Kupp's more that intermediate route runner. I think over the top Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks, but I think the Saints will be more focused on Cooks because he played for the Saints. They don't want him to beat him this year again. So I'm going Robert Woods, number 4. Coming in number 3, I got Jarvis Landry. He knows the Jets, playing that division for a long time. I think that with Odell Beckham on the team on Monday night, they're going to try to kill Odell, and I think that's what's going to open up for Jarvis Landry. So I got Landry coming in number 3. Coming in number 2, I got Amari Cooper. I have Dak in my top 5. Well, Cooper's going to be there too. Amari Cooper could have a monster game. He really could, which is the number 1 wide receiver today. But I have one person a little bit high just because I saw the usage rate last week, not to mention them getting embarrassed last week. And this guy is not elite to me. Some people may say he is, but I'm talking about Juju Smith-Schuster. He still got a lot to prove. The Steelers did not play great last week. Juju had an okay game, I guess you could say, but not great. But I think today he's going to have a monster game against Seattle. I think Juju Smith-Schuster is going to go over 100 yards. He's going to get targeted a lot. He's going to catch anywhere from 7 to 10 passes today. And I think he's going to have a really good game today. So I got Juju Smith-Schuster coming number 1. And for everybody out there asking me, well, who's the elite receivers? Julio Jones, Michael Thomas, Odell Beckham, D-Hop, and Davante Adams. Even though I'm not a big Adams guy, I know everybody else loves him. I can understand it. That's the only elite receivers to me in the NFL as far as right now playing. So those are my top 5. Those are my elite guys. That's my sleeper. Keo, who we have at tight end?
Tight end, man. Tight end. It was a huge week for tight end this last week. And I got 3. Well, 2 of those guys are in my top 5 now compared to last week. So number 5, I'm gonna go with Vernon Davis. I had him in my top 5 last week, but Davis with Jordan Reed not playing once again. I think last week he showed that he can be reliable. He had 4 catches for 59 yards, 7 targets, and a touchdown. That was huge for him. So I got him at number 5. Number 4, I'm rolling with Evan Ingram, man. You called it last week. I think you had Evan Ingram. I didn't believe in him, but he had a monster game, man. One of the best tight end performances from last week. So I got that at number 4. Number 3, I'm rolling with Jared Cook at number 3. Jared Cook, he didn't break out last week, but this week I expect him to, with the game being a shootout. I think Jared Cook is going to cause a lot of matchup problems with the Rams defensive backs. So I got Jared Cook at number 3. Number 2, new to my top 5 this week. Darren Waller, tight end from the Ravens. He had a solid opener against Denver with 7 catches for 70 yards and 8 targets. It looks like Derek Carr looks for him a lot, and I think it's going to continue moving forward. And I think that John Gruden saw something in this guy, and they didn't mind letting Jared Cook go for the amount he got signed for it. I think he's the second best option behind Tyrell Williams. But like I said, I think Oakland, they're going to be trying to catch it with Kansas City in this game. I think Waller's going to get a huge amount of targets today, and I think he's a top 5 fantasy tight end if anybody could go after him. So I got him at number 2. At number 1, I actually have this guy. I actually drafted this guy. It was a risk taker to be putting this guy in the top 5. And I got him as my number 1 tight end right now. And I'm talking about T.J. Hawkinson, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, man, Detroit, there's a reason why they drafted a tight end this high. And they don't draft tight ends this high when it comes to the Detroit Lions. And something must give, man, for them to draft this guy so high. I saw this guy in Iowa. I liked his upside over there in Iowa, and he's showing it right now, especially last week. He had a great week. And, yes, I understand it's against Arizona, but, yo, man, he had six catches, 131 yards, and a touchdown on 9 targets. I think he could be in line for a great rookie campaign moving forward. And he tied Kenny Golladay in targets also, behind Danny Amendola with 13. But it's clear that they're going to feature Hawkinson in their passing game moving forward. And just to note this also, Darwin James, the defensive back safety from the Chargers, he's out today. And I think it's a favorable matchup for a playmaking tight end like him, man. So I got Hawkinson as my number 1 guy right now for tight end for week 2. And as far as guys like Kelsey, Zach Ertz, and George Kittle, I'm not throwing them in there because you know what to expect from them.
Yeah, I agree with that. The last thing you said, I agree with. Okay, so we know that Kittle, Ertz, and Kelsey. That's the three guys that they're just. And I know a lot of people are low on Ertz. I get it. People are saying, well, he's not the same guy. He's not elite. For me, he is. If I got Zach Ertz, I'm starting him. I know some people say, well, if I had Ertz and I had Hawkinson, I'm playing Hawkinson or I'm playing Waller over Ertz. That's y'all. I'm definitely not doing that. I'm playing Ertz. They're not mad at you. Second thing, why are you lying to these people? The Detroit Lions picked Eric Ebron in the first round in the top 10 pick, and that didn't work out. I don't want to hear nothing about Hawkinson working out.
But this is the best tight end debut performance by a Detroit Lion.
And that's why, coming at number 5, I got T.J. Hawkins. But I do not have him at number 1. That's what I was like, I know Keel's going to have him at number 5. I thought you weren't going to have him in the top 5, but yeah, I was like, wow, number 1, no, I don't have him there. But I do have T.J. Hawkins at number 5. He's definitely intriguing. You have to respect what happened last week. He looked really good. He looks really good. He was better than Eric Ebron ever looked in the Detroit Lions uniform. Ebron dropped a lot of balls. Now, when he went to Indianapolis last year, Ebron probably looked like the guy that got drafted in the top 10. But I think Hawkinson may be really good. I think Keel's been doing really good in fantasy this year. He took some of my players, like I said, but he also hit on a lot of people that he liked. He liked Josh Jacobs going into the season. He liked Tyrell Williams. He liked Hawkinson. And all three of those guys hit last week. Let's see if they can continue this week. But I do have Hawkinson coming at number 5. Coming at number 4, I got David Njoku. I think David Njoku, man, we thought he was the only person last week to catch a touchdown pass from Baker Mayfield last week. I think I can see that continue. Like I say, he's the only one that catch one, but he can catch another one this week because, like I said, a lot of teams are going to try to stop Odell Beckham. They're not really worried about my man David Njoku to a certain extent.
I just want to mention about Njoku. He did have a decent game last week, but the only reason why I didn't mention him in the top 5 because I'm skeptical towards it, man, because he's going against his former interim head coach for Greg Williams, so I'm pretty sure Greg Williams knows his strengths and weaknesses. So that's risky putting him in there.
Well, after this, no C.J. Mosley, that means a lot to me. I think that's tough for a Jet. No C.J. Mosley is out. We're going to get your injury reserves one of the week this week, so this whole thing with me on, I got y'all. But, yeah, I got it because I think that no C.J. Mosley is going to hurt the Jets a lot in this game. So I got David Njoku coming in at number 4. Coming in at number 3, I got Darren Waller. I'm with you, Keel. Another guy that showed some flashes last week. Now, he didn't show the flashes that Hawkinson showed, but I think in this game, a shootout game against KC, he may have to, have even a better game this week. The Broncos have a good defense. The Chiefs do as well, but I think they're going to have to throw the ball a lot more in this game. So I got Jamal Waller coming in number 3. Coming in number 2, I got Delaney Walker. Delaney Walker had a big game against the Browns last week, and then he talked about it afterwards, and that was crazy. Y'all hyped that team up, not us. They all we thought they were. And Delaney Walker, man, he's playing with a swag, playing with an edge. It's like him and Mariota's getting back to the same page. Delaney Walker could literally have an elite type year at tight end. I like him that much. Some people say I'm crazy. I even brought that up, but I like Delaney Walker a lot. I would actually trade for him right now in the MBS league. Whoever got him, come holler at me, man. I like Delaney Walker a whole lot. Number 1, though, it's going to be a big surprise who's my number 1 guy. And I'm talking about a guy that's really playing a matchup that I just think he's going to continue to do what they hyped him up to do this year. And I'm talking about Baltimore Ravens tight end, Mr. Andrews, baby. Wow. I like that kid. I do, bro. I'm not going to lie to you, Keo. Mark Andrews, to me, he is questionable. That's the one scary thing. He had a monster game last week, just like Hawkinson. But I think this matchup is just too beautiful. And then when you saw what happened with, oh, my God, Hollywood Brown, Marquise Brown, they're gonna try to make sure they stop the over the top stuff, and then they're gonna definitely try to stop Lamar Jackson from running. Well, who stays open with that dynamic? I think Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews could definitely finish the day as number one tight end, and that's why I have him as number one tight end. But be careful because he is questionable, but I think he's gonna play. So I got Mark Andrews as number one.
I have a question regarding tight ends. So I was hoping you wouldn't mention any of these guys. So if you were, I wasn't even going to ask the question. Now that you didn't, so who would you prefer fantasy owners to take between these two? Because I see a lot of fantasy experts saying they're bust alerts and you shouldn't even start them. And I'm talking about Kyle Rudolph and Jimmy Ingram, which both of these teams play against each other.
You said Kyle Rudolph and who?
Jimmy Graham.
I like both of those guys. I think they can have a decent day. They're not top five to me. They're guys that's definitely on the outside looking in. I'm not a big Jimmy Graham guy today, even though he scored a touchdown last week. Jimmy Graham, I don't know what to think of Jimmy Graham. I don't know if he's so injury prone. And Rudolph never truly lived up to his potential, so I'm not really high on him as well. If I have to start him, then I will, but they're not guys that I love this week.
Wow. Okay. All right. So we're going to kickers or defense? Are we going to kickers now or defense?
Defense first.
Okay, defense. At number 5 with the defense, I'm going with the New England Patriots at number 5. I think Miami's going to have a hard time to score. New England have a lot of playmakers on the secondary and in their front seven, so I like the defense matchups for this week for the Patriots. Number 4, I'm going to roll with the Dallas Cowboys against the Washington Redskins. I think the Cowboys, they took care of business last week. I think that they're going to take care of business once again. And guys like Jalen Smith, Van Der Esch, you got DeMarcus Lawrence over there. I think they're going to make some huge plays to help their team out. And I got them at number 4. Number 3, I'm actually going with the Chicago Bears at number 3. I think this is an interesting matchup. Even though the Broncos did lose to the Raiders, I think it bounds to be an interesting matchup for number 3. So I got the Bears at number 3. My number 2 defense that fantasy owners should start right now. Wow, man. I'm gonna say the Titans, man. The Titans are at home, coming off a huge win, and I think the Colts, they're gonna struggle today, despite what they were able to do last week. And winding up my number 1 defense, for the first time, I'm going with the Cleveland Browns. Like True mentioned, C.J. Mosley is hurt. You got a lot of the playmakers over there, guys like Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward. I think this defense is going to show up. And, Sam Darnold's not playing. I know Le'Veon Bell did have an MRI on his shoulder. Everything's clear, good to go. And I just think they're going to rely on Le'Veon Bell too much. And they're going to force Trevor Simeon. He's going to force a lot of turnovers and make a lot of mistakes. So I got the Browns as my number 1 defense for this week.
Wow. Okay. Well, we see things a lot different than, man, the golly. Okay, so Keo mentioned the Bears. Of course, if I'm having the Bears, I'm starting. They're elite to me. They're the only elite defense that you're going to start week in and week out, pretty much no matter who they play against. I mean, they played against Aaron Rodgers and held them to 10 points and had a lot of sacks in that game. So the Bears are elite to me. I'm not going to put them in the top 5. But coming in at number 5 is the team that they're playing against. And I like the Broncos, man. I think there's going to be a low-scoring game. Vic Fangio, he was with the Bears last year. He knows this team. He knows what they like to do. He knows what Nagy likes to do. I think this game is going to be, low scoring, drag them out the mud type battle. Both quarterbacks were inconsistent last week to me. Trubisky didn't look good. Flacco didn't look too, comfortable in that system to me. So I'm going with the Broncos at number 5 because I think it's going to be a low scoring game. Coming at number 4, I got the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts know the Titans. The Titans had some big runs, some type of stuff that it's kind of like a fluke in some sense. Frank Wright knows this team. With Andrew Luck, this team was undefeated against the Titans. I think, Jacoby Brissett is definitely not Andrew Luck, but I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. So I got the Colts coming in at number 4. Coming in at number 3 is a team that I think is going to win this game, and that's the Tennessee Titans. I think they'll shut down the Colts to a certain degree. I think this could be like a 13 to 17 type game, and the Titans will win this game. But I do think that the Titans will have a really good defensive day. Coming in number 2, I got the Dallas Cowboys. I'm with you on this. They're going to get the Redskins. This game is going to get ugly, sloppy for the Redskins. The Cowboys are going to flex their muscles. They're my Super Bowl pick out there. I think they're going to show why. I picked them as far as my fantasy, as far as my predictions go before the season started. I think the Cowboys, I've been terrible in fantasy, but I've been really good as far as pick them except for yesterday in college football. I don't know what I was thinking yesterday. It's probably because Keo was copying my picks. I don't know what was going on. But Keo should definitely copy my pick. Keo should definitely copy my pick when it comes to this because I don't know what Keo's talking about. The Browns was a good pick. They're right on the outside looking in for me. But the number 1 defense by far today is the New England Patriots. It's not even close. They got the Miami Dolphins. Are you kidding me? The Patriots defense might score 20 fantasy points today. I would actually start them over the Chicago Bears against the Broncos, and I think that's a low-scoring game. The Pats are a must-start today, and I have them coming in number 1. Shame on you, Keo, for not having the Patriots in the top 5. Are you kidding me? Let's go to kickers.
No, I had them in my top 5. I had them starting them. All right, kickers. Starting at number 5, I'm going to go with Mason Crosby at number 5. When these two teams play, Mason Crosby and guys like Dan Bailey, or even if it was a Ryan Longwell in the past, they tend to be involved a lot. So I got them at number 5, Ryan Longwell. Number 4, I'm gonna go with Steven Gostkowski at number 4. I think Patriots, they're gonna get a lot of opportunities, and I'll be surprised if Dolphins stop them on 3rd down and Steven Gostkowski gets opportunities. So I think he'll, if you're looking for like a decent, good 8-9 points, Steven Gostkowski is your guy at number 4. Number 3, I'm going with Matt Prater. Matt Prater, I think he'll get a lot of opportunities, especially against the Chargers in this game. So I got that at number 3. Number 2, Matt Bryant. He re-signs back with the team. I think he's one of the most consistent kickers out there, so I got him at number 2. And number 1, I'm going to go with Harrison Butker from the Chiefs. I think him, too, he will get a lot of opportunities also. So that rounds up my top 5 for kickers.
Well, okay. I know a lot of people trying to thinking themselves a kicker. You serious, X? You serious, Q? Like, of course, we got to start a kicker, but we're not caring who we start. You should care. That could be the difference of you winning. If you just look at last Monday night with Will Lutz a 8-yarder, 57-yarder for the win. That's 5 fantasy points. 5 fantasy
Yeah,
points.
he won a lot of games for a lot of fantasy owners, man.
Exactly. So that means something to me. I don't know about everybody else, but that means something to me. So yeah, I care about who I have at kicker. Coming in at number 5 for me is Jake Elliott. I'm gonna start with him in Atlanta, inside of a dome. The wind conditions won't be a factor. The rain won't be a factor. The weather won't be a factor at all. I think Jake Elliott and the Eagles are going to score points in this game. They're going to look good doing it. I got Jake Elliott coming in at number 4 for me. Coming in at number 3, I got Britt Maher, the Cowboys kicker. Come on, man. He's gonna kick a lot of extra points. They're going to field goal range a lot. They're going to score. They're going to do what they do. Coming in at number 3 for me is Will Lutz. We just brought up Will Lutz. Lutz, monster first game, big kick to win the game against Houston. Now he goes against Greg Zuerlein and the Rams. Zuerlein and Tucker to me are the only 2 elite guys for the most part. You're going to start them no matter what. So I didn't put them 2 in the top 5. But Lutz in that game, I think Lutz is going to be big time for the Saints. Coming in number 2 for me is Gostowski. I'm with Key on this. Steven Gostowski. I like the Patriots a whole lot today. So I got Gostowski coming in at number 2. Coming in number 1 for me, though, is Harrison Butker going against Oakland. They may stop him a little bit every now and then when he gets to the red zone, but they got Butker out, knocked that kick down. Butker had 17 fantasy points last week. Just think about that, 17 fantasy points. Nasty. This dude is becoming on the verge of becoming elite. I got Harrison Butker at number 1. Okay, Keo, let's get to this. Let's get to the waiver wire pickup. Who is some guys 5 guys that people should be picking up right now? Like try to get them early because in the end it may pay off.
Waiver wire pickup. You might be surprised when I say this, but a waiver wire pickup that people should pick up on, and you're going to be surprised when I say this name, but Dez Bryant, man. Dez Bryant has got a lot of interest in teams. Teams like the Saints, teams like the Packers, the Panthers, the Ravens. Dez Bryant's going to get signed. I think he's expecting to get signed by at least October. And I think Dez Bryant, I think he's a great pickup for fantasy owners. And I think he could make a huge impact. And according to his trainer, that he has a lot of explosiveness. He's getting a lot of the explosiveness back. His speed is still there, and he still got that athleticism. So Dez Bryant, I think he's a huge pickup. Another guy that is a huge pickup also, Chris Thompson, man. Chris Thompson, especially with various guys out right now. I know people are relying on Adrian Peterson to start, but I think Chris Thompson is a huge pickup as far as waiver wire pickups as of right now. Another pickup that I think could be really interesting is Curtis Samuel, man. I think Curtis Samuel could be huge also. The Panthers, they have a hard time throwing the ball, but, Curtis Samuel, he's going to get a lot of looks inside there. So I think fantasy owners should be a lookout for that also for Curtis Samuel. And last but not least, I think the last waiver wire pickup that fantasy owners should look out for is Kenny Stills, man, from the Texans. I know, you got your what is it? You got DeAndre Hopkins and Will Fuller, but I think Kenny Stills is a great slot position, man, and I think he's gonna take a lot of time from Kute also. So I think those are our pickups as of right now.
All right, I'm not mad at your pickup. I like a few of those as well. Let me just say this. I know Hawkinson, Waller, they're both owned in less than, I mean, I would say less. They're still not owned in fully everybody's league. They should be owned. They're like around 75% right now, both of them. So it's like 25% of the leagues that don't even have these dudes owned. I think that's a little foolish. These guys should be owned. So I'm not going to put them along with Marquise Brown. Hollywood Brown is around that same mark. We need to pick them guys up. Those guys are just the automatic that you pick up. All right. But two guys that come to mind right off the back is Chris Thompson and Adrian Peterson. I'm not big on Adrian Peterson, but if he's a starting running back, you can't argue that. You know, value as far as trade value. AP is in phenomenal shape. He did lose some stuff last year, in my opinion, but if he's a starting running back, there's no reason why he should be still not owned in 40% of the leagues. And he's a starting running back. He's a probably a decent flex play. So I got AP and Chris Thompson coming in at 5 and 4. Chris Thompson is still not owned in over 50% of the league. That's mind-boggling to me. Chris Thompson, if you're in a PPR league, he's a guy that you can definitely plug in and play. Coming in number 3 for me is John Ross. John Ross, to me, had a really good first game, and everybody was waiting for John Ross to be this guy. Is he this guy now? We saw, A.J. Green. We know A.J. Green's been out, but we know A.J. Green. We know Tyler Boyd from last year. Is John Ross ready to take that next step? He's still not owned in like 30% of the league. I think he could be an interesting pickup because they had a lot of high hopes for John Ross when they drafted him in the first round a few years back. So I got him coming in at number 3. Coming in at number 2 for me is Carlos Hyde. Carlos Hyde is not owned in, I think it's almost 60% that you can still own him. He's only owned in like 40-something% of ESPN leagues. Carlos Hyde looks like it's going to be a 1-2 punch with him and Duke Johnson. This is a high-powered offense. This is kind of like, and I'm not saying these guys are these guys, but this is kind of like last year's Saints with Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara. Mark Ingram has good fantasy value. Carlos Hyde's going to have good fantasy value. You want to pick him up, he's going to get some touchdowns in the red zone, so I like Carlos Hyde a lot. I think he's a good pickup, but definitely a good flex player as well. But my number 1 guy is he's owned in less than 10% of fantasy football leagues. Listen to me again. So you can go pick him up right now. That's how bad it is. He is only owned in like 9.3 fantasy leagues, percent of fantasy football leagues. I actually picked him up in the MBS league. He had a good game last week. I think he's going to give an even better game this week and moving forward. And I'm talking about Titans wide receiver A.J. Brown. I like this kid. Your eye test has to come into play. And what I saw from A.J. Brown in the game last week, I say he's big, he can run, and he gets open. I mean, he caught the ball, he was wide open. Like, you watch him, they couldn't jam at the line. This kid, and dare I say, he wears the same number, but he looks like Julio Jones out there, people. And that's what I saw. I was like, man, this dude is big. I like A.J. Brown a lot. I think he's going to become their new number 1 over there. So if he does, just run with the Tracy Sports Junkie calls it. I like A.J. Brown as my number 1 waiver wire pickup. All right. Keo, let's get to flex plays real quick. Can we do flex plays real quick? Top 5 flex plays.
Yeah, top 5 flex plays. I think a huge flex player that fantasy owners should consider. I'm going with Duke Johnson. I think he's a great flex play. Because he with the type of offense that they run, I think he would be great for a flex play. Another player that should be considered a huge flex play, I'm going with LaShawn McCoy. I think he could be really huge in flex plays also. LaShawn McCoy. Number 3, I'm not confident of still starting him at wide receiver 1 or 2, but I think he's a decent. I think he's a decent flex player, especially with that air raid offense. And I'm rolling with Larry Fitzgerald at number 3. I think he's a decent flex play. Number 4, I think a flex play that could make a definitely huge impact, and he could be in the waivers too. I'm rolling with Randall Cobb at number 4.
The flex play.
I think if you're looking for a good flex play, and somebody could give you like 10 points, I think Randall Cobb, especially the way that offense is ran. So I think he could be a huge flex play also. And last but not least, I think a flex play that could be really huge moving forward, man, is I'm gonna roll with a flex play for this week. I'm gonna roll with Miles Sanders, man. He could definitely be a huge flex.
I like
Miles Sanders. I think he could break out this week. He had a quiet game to face off Philadelphia dominated last week, but I think he could be a huge flex play moving forward.
Okay. All right, so my flex players are as follows. Chris Thompson, got to put him in number 5. He's going to catch the ball at the back first, especially with the PPR league. You want to put Chris Thompson as your flex. I think that's a really good flex play right now. So you probably can go pick him up in some leagues and play him right away. Coming in number 4 for me, I got John Ross. John Ross is now becoming interesting to me. Like I said, he's somebody that you want to pay attention to. So I got John Ross coming in at number 4. Coming in number 3, I got Will Fuller. I saw DeAndre Hopkins score last week. We know Rams going to get him. We saw Kenny Steele score last week. So now you got to respect him. Well, Deshaun Watson launched Will Fuller as well. I like Will Fuller a lot this week. I think he could actually finish in the top 5 and finish wide receiver. That's how good I like him. And I'm hoping that he does that good. Q actually, why didn't start Peyton Barber with Will Fuller? And this is why, Q, I like Will Fuller this week. Coming in number 2, I like Michael Gallup. He likes Randall Cobb, not tripping, but I like Michael Gallup. I said he's one of my sleepers going into this season. I think he's going to be really good this entire season. I think it's almost like Michael Irvin and Alvin Harper all over again with Cooper and Gallup. I like Gallup a lot. So he comes in number 2. My number 1 is 2 guys. And we just said it. I just said the two-headed monster. Carlos Hyde and Duke Johnson. You have either one of those guys, you starting them in the flex play. I think both of them are going to be good. I like this offense a lot. I know they're going against Jacksonville. But that just goes to tell you how much I like the Houston Texans. I got 3 Houston Texans in my top 5. And you know I'm starting DeAndre Hopkins if I got him. And you know I'm starting Watson if I got him. So that's 6 Houston Texans that I would start today if I had them. And they're going against Jacksonville. So one would say that could be done of the week. But I'm going with those guys as my flex plays this week. All right, Keo, real quick before we go any further, I'm going to help the people out. And if you know some people, then just let me know as well, Keo, because I'm just going off of what I know right now. So if you have Tyreek Hill in your lineup, get him out your lineup. He's not playing today. I'm going to go down and quick the list real quick. These guys are not playing. Tyreek Hill, Melvin Gordon, A.J. Green, Sterling Shepard, Tevin Coleman, Hunter Henry, Darius Geis, Jordan Reed, Albert Wilson, Devin Funches, Sam Darnold. I think that's all the big names that I know of. Dontrell Hilliard. Last week he scored for the Browns. He will not play tomorrow night. So please get him out your lineup. Quincy Anuwa, you should know that he's out for the year. So that's just a couple of guys I got. If you know anybody else, just let them know. Nobody?
For the fantasy owners that play with defensive players. I know there's a few fantasy owners out there that play based off of defensive players. I know True mentioned C.J. Mosley, but this could affect your total defense also. But C.J. Mosley, we know he's inactive, but the first round pick, Quinnen Williams, he's going to be inactive also. So so be a lookout for that, and he will not be available. Be out and look for Joe Mixon. He's still listed as questionable with his sprained ankle. He's planning to play Sunday. Like I said, he's going to be testing it and see how everything goes. Did you mention Jordan Reed?
Yeah, I said Jordan Reed.
I think Tavon Austin won't be available also. And Dolphins receiver Albert Wilson. But besides that, that's all I have for the injury report.
Definitely. Well, appreciate you adding the defensive players. All right, it's time to get to our favorite segment of the show, baby. The end of the show. Keo, the sleeper of the week, the stud of the week, and the dud of the week. Let's get it popping.
All right, so my sleeper of the week. I was really confident with Deshaun Jackson, and he delivered me the goods this past week. But I know that it'll be like. I know people will be like, damn, man, you got to let the sleeper of the week, but, I don't expect much from him. He hasn't played a game in a while. He missed training camp. I'm talking about the newest acquisition for the New England Patriots, man, Antonio Brown. I got him as the sleeper of the week. So we don't know what we're gonna get from Antonio Brown. So I just feel like this will be really interesting, I might add. So I got him as my sleeper of the week. My dud of the week. Last week I was wrong, man. I thought Mahomes would struggle, but obviously he didn't. So my dud of the week, I'm going with James Conner, man. James Conner against the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks, I like that defense over there, man. I picked Seattle to win, and I like Seattle. And I think Connor's going to struggle where it forces Pittsburgh to throw the ball off a high rate. So James Conner is my stud of the week. And now, last but not least, I'm going to go to my stud of the week right now. My stud of the week, man, this is going to be interesting, but my stud of the week, I'm going to go with, damn, this is tough. No, man, no, it's not tough. I'm going with Tom Brady for my stud of the week, man. You're going against the Dolphins. Look at you. I'm going with Tom Brady for my stud of the week. So, there you have it, man.
Wow. Well, you stole my thunder. My stud of the week is Tom Brady. You're a hater, dude. Oh, wow. So, yeah, my stud of the week, Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady's going to have a monster week with the Suns because he said it. Yeah, I got Tom Brady, man. Monster week this week. I don't see how the Dolphins are going to be able to continue this game. Tell me about gun of the week. I'm going to done instead of doing a sleeper. Sammy Watkins. Now, some may say, what? Dude's number one fantasy receiver last week, and that's the problem. I mean, people say, well, he's the new Tyreek Hill. No, he's not. And I no disrespect to Sammy Watkins. I think you have a decent game. But to say he's going to be like the new high, no, he's not that. He's not Tyreek Hill. He is fast. He could indicate that he has more of a skill set than Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is more skill set than speed. And Watkins is fast. He's not that fast, but he's fast. But I still don't think Watkins is going to have a great game. I think Watkins will have a decent game, but he will not get you 46 fantasy points for sure. I don't even think he's going to get you 20. I think he's at best going to get you 10. And that's not a great day for the guy who got 46 from last week. So I'm going to say Sammy Watkins will not go over 12 fantasy points today. That's my boom prediction and my dud of the week. My sleeper of the week, I'm going to believe it one more time, baby. And that's young DM, baby. David Montgomery. Come on, man. Don't do me like that, Matt Nagy. Give my boy the ball. You got to get the ball, man. A lot of people gave up on him after last week. I don't think they should. I think David Montgomery against the Broncos defense is going to have a big game. So I'm going with David Montgomery as my sleeper of the week. All right, Keo, let's get to these shout-outs so we can go watch these games.
All right. Shout out to you. Obviously, always holding it down. Make sure you tune into the NBA show this week. And with that being said, man, thank you everybody that tunes in and supports the brand. And I'm out. And good luck to everybody in fantasy football this week for week 2.
Definitely. I need some good luck, man. I've been falling off. Can't say me Hawkins with you. I need better timing right now. I'm tripping right now. But with that being said, y'all, look, man, it's real simple. Good luck today. Thank you for Kia for coming on. Shout out to everybody that tunes in. Make sure you go subscribe to our page on YouTube. Kia should upload this thing, real soon for you guys. Hopefully get uploaded before the game starts. Everybody can tune in and check it out. But if we help you today, well, if you lose, hey, I know nobody wants to blame but yourself. But if you win, like Drake said, man, thank us later. This is the Startem Sitem Show on MBS Central Radio. We out.